with Paints and Glitter. I am live today with a crafty video. I will be making a little card and maybe something else. If you're re-watching this, please feel free to skip ahead. I'm not quite sure if YouTube will be showing the live chat, but I will try to enable that if possible. So, if you're new to my channel, I welcome you and thank you for being here. My name is Raquel, as I said before. I'm working right now on an entry for a challenge, and hopefully some people will trickle in. I'm just going to do a little bit of housekeeping here, which is going to be to look up my videos so that I can read the chat if anyone stops by. In the meantime, I'm going to be cutting paper and making the base of a card. I will be using TonicStudios dies and some heavy cardstock here. This one happens to be in a very light blush. Let's see if you guys can see me well. I think you will be able to see well from that angle. So I'm going to cut this down to make a top folding card. This is going to be the base of my card, and it measures just under 5 inches wide. So I'm going to start there, and what I'll do is cut it out of this particular die here, and then I will be adhering it only on the top portion so that I can have a top folding card, because the die is 6 inches tall and this paper is at the widest point 11 inches. So that's a good way to make a card if your paper is not long enough to fold it in half. So I'm just going to run this through my die cutting machine like so, and I'll be able to start doing this. These are some really beautiful dies from TonicStudios, and this particular set is called Rose Trellis. It looks like this, and it comes with some really pretty details there that I'm hoping to be able to showcase on this card. I'm going to do this again, run it once more with that pink cardstock, which I've placed underneath. Here it is. And this cardstock happens to be 110-pound cardstock, so it's a wonderful base for any card, and I believe I did get it at Michael's. So I'm going to make sure that I run this through again. Now you can score one of your panels with a scoreboard. Makes it a little bit easier. And there's my second piece. Just going to move this aside for 1 second. So again, using the shape die, these pieces will become the base of my card. So one of them has to fold over in order to fit right on top of the other. So you want to bear in mind what's going to be the top of your card. So for that reason, I'm going to double check this and make sure that I have these lined up correctly, because I don't want to ruin my own card here. So now I'm just going to score this, and because this is a shaped card, I'm not going to place too much emphasis on the actual shape. I only want to give myself a bit of room here to adhere it onto the base. And you can do 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch, whatever you're comfortable with. I think I'm going to do 1 inch because of the actual shape of this card. So I'm just going to take my scoring tool here and go ahead and start scoring again at 1 inch. This is now going to fold back just like that. Take that aside. And here you see an image. I will be using this image on my card. Okay, so this will adhere on top just like so. Okay, and that's going to create my top folding card. Now, if you're bothered by this shape, which I actually find to be really pretty, so I'm not bothered by that, then you can definitely cut that piece off. Hi, Carrie. Welcome to my channel. I don't know if you're new here, but thank you for watching. Carrie, are you a crafter? Let me know if you can hear me well, please. I would appreciate that, because I just started this video. So I rely on the feedback of my friends to let me know if they can hear well or not. Okay, so I'm applying adhesive here on that fold. This is the piece, again, that's going to adhere to the base of my card, just like that. However, I do want this to be decorative and pretty, so I'm not going to adhere it just yet. I want to place my base panels before I adhere these two together. Oh, wonderful. Okay, well, welcome. Today I'm just sharing how I make this card using TonicStudios dies. It's going to be for a crafty friend, and I'm also going to share a couple of projects that I've been working on. Hopefully I can get to that right. But here, what I'm going to do is that I like to use the leftover pieces if I can. So what I'm going to try to do here is to see if this will fit, first of all, on here. And it just barely fits, so I'm going to give this a try and cut this out to just as a layering piece. So even if it's not perfect, I try not to worry too much about that, so long as it makes the card look pretty, because you can always layer, layer, layer. At least that's something that I like to do with my cards. So what type of crafting do you mostly enjoy, Carrie? Do you scrapbook or make cards? And this is going to maybe look best like so. It barely fits. So what I'm looking at here is how this die actually fits onto the paper, because it's not as wide as it appears to be. So I'm actually going to go with a different piece, because I'm not going to have enough to cover that edge. So I'm actually going to go with this piece of paper here, which is very pretty, and this is the palette that I'm using. I'm just going to go with this pink, which of course I could do with ink, but I'm just going to go ahead and use the paper. Kind of try to use what I have. I had used this paper collection before to make a mini album, and I thought it was so pretty. So I'm just going to place this behind here. And this is going to be my base layer for the inside of the card. I am, by the way, using an electronic die cutting machine. If you're not familiar with that, let me know, because I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. And shame on me, I did not announce this video on Instagram. I should have done that, but I just wanted to come along here. So here's the base again. However, I'm going to want to write a sentiment. So I'm going to use that same rectangle piece from the same die set. And this is going to be where I place the sentiment. So I'm going to cut this out in white. And I always have scrap pieces laying about, so I'm going to try to find one of these scraps and go ahead and cut out my piece of paper. Here we go. This is not a scrap sheet, but in any case, it's a really pretty paper that I enjoy using. And I know that I could just go ahead and cut a rectangle easily. However, I'm going to make use of the dies because I'm trying to make sure that I do use my supplies, and not only that, but to make it cohesive with the same beveled edge as everything else. Oh, wonderful. I love Prima and Stamperia products, yes. I think Stamperia makes some of the most beautiful papers I've ever seen. Of course, I don't think, you know, there are few companies whose papers I don't like, but yeah, hands down. And you said Crafter C products. Are they based out of the UK by any chance? Because I don't think I'm familiar with them. Okay, so I have to bear in mind how this is going to fit. Okay. Just like that. And there is going to be another panel on top of this, by the way, if I didn't mention that. This is just the base of the card, which I could also, well, not, it's too late now. So I'm going to adhere it this way, but I'm going to place this base here first. Oh, they are out of the UK. Then I'm going to have to look them up because I have to not familiar with the company. Oh, Crafter's Companion. Oh, I read Crafter C and I didn't even, you know, I didn't use my head for that. But yes, Crafter's Companion. I have a few of their dies, and I have to admit that I don't use them very much, but the ones that I have I do like. Very sweet. Okay, so there's my base piece there. Here's going to be my fold over piece. I know that they have a huge following as far as I can tell from the videos that I've seen. Okay, so what I'm doing here is that I'm trying to make sure that I line up that bottom piece so that my card is not askew. And there we go. Once I have that bottom piece really nice, I did remove the adhesive backing there. So now I can just go ahead and fold that and tack it on there to the base of my card. Again, it's going to be a top folding card. Just like that. And now at this point, I can definitely make this an easel card if I want to by just folding this in half again, which would be easy enough. In fact, I think I want to do that because that is my favorite style of card. And you see where the sentiment will fit. It's fine inside of here. So before I continue, because I sometimes do change my mind, I'm going to try to find here the centerpiece. Now, I know that this piece measures the same as this one, so let me go ahead and measure that one. And at the highest point here, this measures just under 6 inches. So, let's see here. I'm going to kind of eyeball this and go to, let's see, 2 and 5/8. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no, I'm sorry, 2 and 7/8. 2 and 7/8, and then I'm going to score my paper right there. This will make sense in just a moment. Just want to make sure that this is straight. And if it's not 100% straight, it's okay. There we go. I think I got it. We'll find out in a second. Sometimes I'm improvising in the middle of my crafting, but I think that's every crafter, right? I'm just going to fold right there. Okay, and this is where I'm going to stick my uppermost panel to make the easel card. So I'm going to cut this base one more time. Hi Sandra, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm making an impromptu easel card here. It was just going to be a simple card, but I don't think I can manage to do simple on any given day. So I'm going to grab another cardstock piece in the same color as this. Okay. And I'm going to, once again, cut this down to about 4 3/4 inches so that it fits on my die here. So I'm going to cut this once again. Hi, Joanna. Thank you for being here. I did not announce this video, but I appreciate you guys being here. Yeah. Yes, Sandra, I think you've done this before, so no problem. I will not tell. I remember I worked at a company where I was just relaying this story to my son and my husband. Worked at a company where I got trained for 3 months. Yes, 3 months worth of training. And I'm not going to say which company, but when we hit the floor, so to speak, that's what they called it. They did not know what we were going to do at all. And it was a team of people. And let me tell you, that was insane because I sat there for months not having much work to do at all. After all that training and the anticipation and everything. But it gave me time to watercolor, so that was kind of cool. So this is going to be my easel card. If you see the mechanism here, what I did was that I did fold the card about 1 inch down here, gave myself that little lip that I adhered to the base. And then I folded that same card, this one, I just folded it in half, or what would be half, and now I can adhere the topmost layer here, and that's going to give me an easel card, but I have to make sure that I only adhere this bottommost portion there, and I think that makes sense. But oh, wonderful, Joanna, thank you so much. I do appreciate you clicking the notification bell, because I get a lot of comments sometimes that, oh, I missed the video, you know, and it happens to all of us, of course, but that little bell comes in handy when, you know, it does let you know that someone whose videos you enjoy are live. And that's, to be completely honest, that's how I find out about a lot of crafters as well. I don't always get to chime in because I might be in the middle of cooking something or cleaning or whatever, but I like to support people, so I'll leave the phone on with the live video going on in the background. Sort of what Sandra's doing right now, so I do appreciate it. Oh, you've never made an easel card, so then wonderful. I'm so glad that you've gotten to see this so far. Now, it doesn't need to be this complicated, to be honest, but it's just a matter of folding the paper in half. That's what I would recommend. Fold the paper in half first. And then if you want to do it like this, the reason I did it this way, by the way, is because I like that little scallop edge, but it might disappear once I place my next little panel on there. However, you can do it with just about any shape, really. And it is my favorite style of card, so I tend to go for this quite often. So again, I've applied my adhesive there just on that bottommost portion, and now I want to make sure that I line this up perfectly, because you don't want to give it away. It's kind of like a little surprise. And then once you have your layers there perfectly, then you can apply your pressure. So I'm going to use my bone folder for that. There we go. And I did use both wet and dry adhesive, but it's because I don't trust the dry adhesive too much. Oh, wonderful. You know, Joanna, I still have not ventured into the tonic stamps, ironically. I've got so many tonic products that I absolutely love. But for some reason, the stamps is, I think it's because I like their dies so much, to be completely honest, that I kind of save my pennies for the dies. Okay, so here's going to be where I place my sentiment on the inside, as I mentioned before. I could sneak it underneath here if I had planned to do so, but I did apply adhesive in case you're wondering why I wasted my time speaking of the scallop and now I'm covering it up. It's because I put adhesive and it's already dry and I don't want to ruin my card. But hindsight is 20/20, right? Just bear that in mind. Do as I say, not as I do. So there's that. Yes, and you're absolutely right, Joanna. It is fun to see how other people, you know, other people's take, even on the same type of project, because no two people will do anything exactly the same, but that's what's so amazing about crafting and so fun, of course, is that we all interpret life a little bit differently. So I've got that so far. I'm going to need to place a stopper there, but I'm going to wait on that. For now, what I want to do is revisit my die set here. And I'm probably going to end up flinging papers on the floor because they inevitably start stacking, right? But if I didn't show this yet, this is the image I just colored this morning. She's a little gorgeous girl. So her name is, let's see here, Little Song. That's the name there, Little Song. If you're interested in the little number there, serial number. Sorry guys, I forgot the word for a second. And so she comes with all these gorgeous little stamps and little music notes and everything, and she's got her little ear pods on, and I have to say I don't think I had even used her, so I'm trying to be better about using my supplies. I did use alcohol inks, Copics, and then I used pencils also just to give her more depth. So I thought she was super duper cute. Thank you so much. Oh, yes. Oh, Carrie, then we have that in common. Yes, so what the colors were very purposely picked out, if you notice the papers that I'm using here. So what I did was I literally grabbed this piece and tried to find markers that would emulate the colors here. So that's a really good way to match your projects. The other thing is that this is for a challenge, and the person who set out or shared the challenge, or for whom this is, I'm struggling with my English today, guys, so I apologize. Her name is Elizabeth, and she has a channel. You may know her already. It's called Beady Bom Bom Elizabeth here on YouTube, and she is celebrating her 10 years here on YouTube, and I wanted to be supportive and send her a little entry. The challenge is to please send in a banner. But as I like to do, I always like to send a card with anything that I share. So that's what this is all about. And I didn't know about this challenge, and I'm ashamed to say so, but I was not home the entire month of January, and that's when she published the challenge. So I just found out, and I decided, okay, we all have until March 15th to postmark our entry, and that's what this is going to be. This collection, thank you for asking, is, let's see here. And I kind of have it to the side because I've used it already, so I've got all these little bits and pieces, you know how that goes. This is from Recollections, and it is called Rose Cottage, or Chalet Rose. It's a hot buy paper that I got a while ago. I can't truly recall when I got it, but I had gotten it because I love teal and pink. These are actually the colors of my craft room. And it just so happens that Elizabeth asked that the entries be in that color palette. Teal, pink, and this light green. And I can't remember the name of that green. But I thought this is perfect because that's exactly the color that I have in my room. So how could I not, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this piece of paper with this particular die, and Okay. I'm gonna run this through my machine. But I think it's I don't know, it's a nice, beautiful, feminine color palette, I think. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think there's quite a few of us who enjoy this color palette. And I don't know if it's, what am I doing? I'm doubling up the dyes unnecessarily. I don't know if it's just because it's a calming combination or feminine. I don't know. It's just, thank you, Joanna. Thank you so much. I would pan, but I don't want to lift the camera and make anyone dizzy. But I'm so happy that I'm finally getting some things in order, really. I just sometimes wish I could, I'm going to run this again, guys, just as I'm chatting here. I noticed that it didn't cut perfectly the first time, so let me cut it again. I wish I could spray paint some things, you know, but I sincerely don't have time for that. But I've tried to do my best to make this my space, and there's still a bit more to go. Okay, so I'm noticing that this die, which is very, very intricate, does have some pieces here that are not cutting fully. So I'm going to create a shim, and this is atypical of tonic dies, I have to say, but every now and then it does happen. So what I'm going to do is, and I'm looking to the side here to try to find a scrap piece of paper, but let me see if I can find one right quick. Okay. Here's how I try to create a shim. This is a very lightweight chipboard. And as I said before, this doesn't typically happen with tonic dies, but I think it's because it's so intricate today. It's just being that way. I don't know. However, I normally would just get out my Spellbinders machine and all would be well. I just don't feel like taking that machine out right now. Yes, it is, Sandra. I will show you that in just a minute. There we go. So, I don't want to have to cut this 15 times. So another thing that I do is that I take a metal spatula and I just rub it against the really intricate pieces, just in case. That's just a little hack. And what I'm thinking is that maybe this die already had paper in it. It's possible. That may have been what I was seeing. But I think this is going to be perfect now. I'm going to move this aside. Okay. And that should, yes, I think that's exactly what had happened is I had already cut this die and I was thinking that it wasn't cutting and it was just extra paper that was lodged in there. Silly me, but at least I got it, right? So let me show you that piece, how beautiful that cuts. Isn't that gorgeous? Well, you know what? I'm trying to think of where I learned that. I think it was Christy. I think her name is Christy that I saw doing that. And, oh, I cannot think of Faithful Designs by Christy or something like that, I think is her channel name. And that girl is a genius. Because I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? Just run a piece of metal over that. Or she actually, I think, used a bone folder, to be honest, and rubbed on it. And she was showing how to cut paper without a die cut machine, using dies. But in any case, genius. I was very, very impressed by that. I think I want some white behind this just to show that trellis style. And let me tell you, it has saved me a world of frustration to be able to, you know, to know how to do that. Another thing you can do, which I learned from Jennifer McGuire, is to place, if you have an intricate die, just to place a bunch of washi tape all over the little intricate bits, or areas, I should say. And that generally does the trick also. I just am kind of winging it right now. But let's go ahead and cut this piece. and I will be almost done with all the cutting. So I'm going to set these aside. These are other papers from that collection, by the way, which I thought to maybe use today. It depends on how far I get with crafting. Oh, here we go. So I've got my white piece of paper. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to place adhesive where I need it. I will be avoiding entirely all of those intricate areas because I don't want to lose my sanity. And I think that that's what would happen if I try to, you know, get every inch of that. Okay, so I'm just going to apply pressure there. And then again, my little girl that I cut out with the rectangle is going to go right in the center here, just like that. Okay, so it frames her out perfectly. However, I want to use foam adhesive here because this will then allow me that little gap in the layers so that if I want to tuck in any little flowers or anything like that, I can do that. I'm just going to roll this out. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh, Vicky! Hi, Vicky! How have you been, my dear? Everyone, Vicky's another phenomenal crafter. If you have not been to her channel, make sure you do so. I feel like I haven't heard from you in ages, Vicky. We will be here. Thank you for joining me today. Even if it's just for a moment, I do appreciate it. Especially when my live videos are always impromptu and not announced. Okay, so I'm going to just layer her there. And now that I have that piece there, I can apply it to my base. Okay. And then you see how this will work, where I'll put the little stopper there and it covers up the top of that card, but it even still, because of the dimension, you'll be able to see a little bit of that pink popping out, which is fine by me. So I will apply my adhesive here. And again, no need to cover every inch of it unless you really want to, but I kind of like those little gaps here and there so that people can see what's underneath. I think that's just a little something extra. Okay. So there's that. Now, of course, I could have made the shadow panel there in pink or any other color, but I kind of like the clean look of that, and if I embellish it now, then the other things will pop from the background. Thank you so much, Vicky. So just to show you again, this is the die set that I just used for that. It is called Rose Trellis from TonicStudios. And let me set that aside for a moment. What I'll do here is I'm probably going to add maybe like a little bow on the inside, just like that, because this is a bow that I also used on the banner piece. So I've had my hot glue gun going for a minute here. I'm gonna see if it works today, because these little things are sometimes temperamental, right? So I'm looking again for a scrap. There we go. Okay, because I leave the glue in there, of course, I mean, there's no way to take it out, but I leave my glue gun on for hours, guys, so it burns the glue, and then sometimes it looks really icky. Okay, so I want to gauge how far back I want this once it's open, and that's where I'm going to place the little bow. I think this is a good place. So just eyeballing it here, placing my little bit of adhesive. Oh, hi, Wandy. Thank you so much. I am sharing what my entry for Elizabeth's 10-year YouTube anniversary challenge. So this is just part of it. It's just a little card. Okay, so it'll sit like this. And of course I probably put the bow up a little too high because she's on a slant. She's sun tanning a little bit there, but that's okay. You can put it a little lower, higher, however you like. But there's that. And of course I'm going to zhuzh it up with some other things, but let me show you the entry. And this is the banner that I made. So I used for this banner this little stamp here called what's her name? Little Heart. So she's one of the smaller stamps from Santoro. So I did color her in, and as you can tell, I used my Nuvo drops to make it shiny. Then the banner piece that Elizabeth asked us to make, the base, was to be 5 by 7. So this is 5 inches wide by 7 inches tall. I covered it in the same paper collection that I showed you guys. And then I just went to town adding little layers here. The base layer I did paint with gesso just to soften up the colors a bit. I did also paint this layer here with gesso. I added a piece of applique, and to that applique I added little sequins, I added buttons, I added these little hearts here. Then I used my Rene Bouquet's butterfly trellis beautiful board. If you see this piece down here, this belongs to this piece, so I cut it. That's one beautiful thing you can do with Rene Bouquet beautiful board, is that you can cut it to fit whatever you're making. And then, of course, in true style, I went to town coloring that. I added Nuvo drops, I added sequins, I added, what else? The little flowers, and the bow that I made here. I made this with some ribbon that I had picked up at Hobby Lobby. I just wanted to make some shabby bows. And then in the center here, I just put this little button. Now, she can take this off if she wants to. If she decides that she wants to put someone's picture in there or something like that, she could easily remove this button and do that. But I thought for the moment, for the time being, that would look really sweet. So that's my entry. And then I added this trim here from the dollar store. What I did was that I weaved it into this die. Let me show you the back. See that? So I wove it twice, and then whatever was left over with the length came all the way down here, and then I topped it off with this particular butterfly. So thank you so much, Carrie. It was a lot of fun to make. And of course, since I knew the color palette, then it made it a whole lot easier than me trying to come up with anything. So that explains that there. And what I'll do now is that I'm going to try to make, I guess, I don't know, maybe I should ask you guys, the bag topper, should I make a bag topper to present this? Because that's what's good about making the live videos, is how would you like to receive it? Because I could make, I guess, sort of like an envelope. I could do something like that, but let me know what you guys think. And in the meantime, let me get a clear bag to see how that looks. Because I have these for my cards that I make. And if you like the video, please, a thumbs up would be wonderful. See, because I can hide all this little tail in here. I could do that. And I still have to put my information on the back. She did ask those, you know, who send in an entry to do that. So I could close this up like so, and then make a little bag topper. I think that would be a cute little way to present it. Thank you so much, Vicky. I'm unable to see very well. A bag topper? Yeah, I think you're right. I think that would be a good way to present this. So I do have this piece of paper here. What I can do is And pardon, I don't know if you guys hear any background noise here. If you do, please let me know. But I have my door to my studio open, so I'm unable to tell if there's a lot of background noise here. Okay. I was thinking of maybe this. Can always use the same shape over and over again. Why not? Let's just cut it and see what happens. Let's see here. I cleaned up and I can't find all of my supplies when I clean up. Let's see. Here we go. So I'm just going to use this same shape with the very intention of folding it over lengthwise. Even though the paper's not as big as the die, that doesn't matter because I can always layer. Hi, Sandra. So I just showed the back, I'm sorry, the banner, Sandra. That's what I was showing. So I don't know if you want me to go over that again. Trying to make sure this little girl doesn't fall over. Okay. So there's that piece. And again, I can fold this. So what I'll do is that I'll score it. And maybe I should do it this way. It's going to be a kind of an odd shape, but I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, it's a little bit askew here. So what I'll do is I'm just going to score it at 2 inches here. Just like that. And if I don't like it, I'll throw it out. I've been known to do that. But I was thinking that maybe like this. Maybe a little topper like that. And then I can top it off with some other items. I'm just going to try to straighten this out real quick. So I'm going to put the little scallop in here and get rid of a small piece of this. I think that'll do it. Okay, so this will be the bag topper here. And then what I will do, not that that's straight, but whatever, right? What I'll do now is that I do have other pieces of this paper collection. I've got this piece still left. So I can definitely use this as a decorative strip. So I have here, to make use of what I have, of course. Let's see, I believe it's in this binder. This is how I keep my dies, or some of them. I have here a collection that I absolutely love. This is from the designer series from TonicStudios. And these dies are so gorgeous because it has a bunch of different edges. These are edges. So, let's see here. I can pick out one of these. Bear with me, guys, because I didn't have these out yet. As you can tell, I didn't pre-plan any of this, but I think this would be really cute. So, let's go with that, and this one. There we go. There's a method to my madness. This came with a bunch of dies also, so kind of have them all in here together. Let's set that aside for a moment. So what I have is this here, and with that I can cut a piece to go right on top of that, like so. So that's what I will use on here. Just gonna do that. And I don't need a whole big piece, but that's what's kind of cool about this, is that you gauge it however you like. And then this little one here that has all this detail, I can then cut out with, I thought I had white paper, but I guess I don't. What I'll do is that I will cut it out with this piece here, because I only need a little bit of it. And it'll match up, so that'll be really cute. Now, more washi tape. You guys have any questions for me as I craft here like a maniac? I always have this feeling like, wow, the room is so quiet. Because of course I can't hear anyone's voice. And I would love to be able to do that. So let me cut that out. Cut this one out. I don't need that much. There we go. And it's coming along, coming along, coming along. Okay. Now, this doesn't cut the edges, as you can tell there. So I can just freehand that myself, like so. And I think I'm going to use my paper cutter for this side. Or actually, let me just eyeball it for now, like that. Okay, here we go. So I've got this piece here, this scallop. Such a cute shape. I'll layer that on top. And it fits just as I need it there. So I'm going to adhere it first and then layer the next piece. I'm just going to do a little line of adhesive here, if my glue gun or my glue will cooperate. Oopsie, just like that. And this, of course, is not necessary, but it is just part of the presentation. It makes it pretty, you know. And, of course, it's something that I enjoy because I get to use my supplies. Of the banner, yes, absolutely. Most definitely. If you give me 1 second here. And I appreciate your patience because I know sometimes it's like watching paint dry to watch me craft. So, all right, so this is going to be my next little layer here, just like so. And I am going to cut away that excess as well as, you know, the back here. So I'm going to place it as I think it'll go first. And then I'm going to grab a pencil here, make my life easier. Trace what I need, just like that. And it looks like I have a hot mess on my desk right now. Oh my gosh. There we go. I'm going to place it on here. Just like so. And of course you can add ribbons to this or anything else, little jemmies, anything you like. It's a little bit askew, so I'm probably going to add something there also. Just a piece of ribbon or something, kind of hide that. And then over here, I can follow the edge here. And I probably should have used smaller scissors, but just for the sake of finishing up this topper. And then I'll show you the banner again, of course. Sorry to keep you waiting there, Sandra. Okay. And there we go. It's just about right there. There we go. All right, so I've got my little banner, and then this can go right on top of that. And as I said before, I'll trim this out also so that it's perfect on the top because that little bit will bother me. But I love the edges that you can achieve with the different dyes and, you know, the mixing and matching. So let me set this aside. And, oh, thank you, Annette, and welcome. Thank you for being here. Let me show you the banner really quick. outside of this bag, of course. But this was what I was sharing before, was that I had made the little bow. I had stamped and colored the little gorgeous girl. I added little flowers. I shabbied the paper with gesso. Used beautiful board pieces from Renee Bouquets. Lots of Nouveau drops there from TonicStudios. Sequins from TonicStudios. And I try to layer it, but it's really not very chunky at all. And the base is heavyweight chipboard that I covered up in the same paper collection. So it definitely will be all very cohesive and matched. The same with the topper. Same colors as you can see there. All done on purpose, of course. Then, let's see here. Another thing that I was going to show you, since you guys like that paper collection, and I'm so sorry that it is not current. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can reach. This is always a joke with me because I'm little, guys, as I always say. I'm not very tall, but this paper collection is the same collection that I use for this particular book. I do have a video on this book, by the way, if you're interested, but it has a lot of different roses and the beige, the damask. I did this for Renee Bouquets, and as you can tell, the gold looks really pretty with it. And I just was showcasing, of course, the product. And as you ladies probably know, I love my tonic dies. And these are actually Spellbinders. This particular die here is a Spellbinders die. But those papers are very lovely. And then it did have that deep green, so I did use some other darker papers there for some of the pages so that it wouldn't all be so light, as you can tell there. I did use the darker, and this was just a fun book to make. I just kind of went with the flow here. Now, this is another thing that I did, was that I fussy cut the paper, the roses, because if there's an element of a paper that you absolutely love, you can cut it out and just make your own pockets. That's what I did there. Nothing fancy. I just adhered 3 sides of it, and then of course, what I fussy cut were the roses there, because I thought it was so pretty. And then these pages just fold like that. And I was just trying to make use of my supplies. And then, of course, the gorgeous laces from Renee Bouquets, which, you know, is all absolutely stunning. And then I did make a shaker in the back, as I love to do with my books. I always like to add a shaker. Now, hindsight is 20/20. I should have made this a pocket, as I've done with my other books, to fit a photo. I didn't do that in this instance, but I don't regret it. I think it's still cute. It showcases the heart really well also. So yeah, so that's what I made. This is magnetized, which is why I hung on to that. But yeah, that's that book. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. I do hope that Elizabeth likes this. Now, she only asked for the banner. And as you can tell, I already made that. I made the bag topper for the presentation. I'm going to try to see, actually, if I have a piece of lace, if you ladies can bear with me, that I can add to that. I think this would look cute just on top, because it also has the little scallops. And again, this is just, you know, trying to hide my little uneven job of paper placing there. I do that quite often, by the way. Hi, Rocky. Thank you for joining us. So I'm just going to add a little adhesive here. I absolutely dislike hot glue, by the way, guys. Just it's not my favorite, but it gets the job done. So I try to strategically place the lace when I use it, because inevitably the stuff is, you know, turns yellow. I don't like that. Okay, but in crafting, there's nothing you can't cover up with a gem, right? Thank you. I just happen to have this in my drawer there. This lace was given to me by a dear crafty friend, and I thank her ever so much for it. She gave me just the surprise of my life by sharing a really generous supply of laces. So that'll fit there. This is bothering me, of course, but let's take that out. My OCD kicks in. Okay, so there's that topper. I think I'll be happy with that. Oh, thank you, Rocky, and welcome, welcome. This is Paints and Glitter, where I like to share paper crafts, whether it be cards, 3D items, what else? Mini albums, of course, my obsession, my great obsession. And this is an entry for a challenge, so every now and then, not very often, but every now and then, I like to participate in a challenge. Actually, I would enter all of them if I could. I can't. My time is limited. So I'm just going to close this, even though I'm going to end up opening it all over again. But if you're ever looking for a way to package a gift, this is never a bad idea. To just use the little clear bags that you can get very easily off of Amazon or anywhere else. And then the little bag topper there. And this, I like doing this also because you can use the scraps, and that's what I was looking for earlier. You can use your scrap pieces of paper, as well as your shaped dies. If you have a collection of dies, and you don't quite know what to do with them, you can always make a bag topper. So I'm just going to remove the adhesive here. And you guys saw how easy that came together because it was just a matter of layering pieces, really. So I'm going to put this on the top here, and that way she can reuse this, which is another reason to, you know, bling it up, if you will, or whatever. Now, I try to make sure the bag is right in the center. There we go. And now cover that up like so. And here's where the little elements will come in. I have them here. Here we go. So this paper collection came with pieces like this. They're meant to be used, you know, for either journaling or anything like that. But you can definitely use them for your bag toppers. So what I'll do here is I'm going to go right around the edge of this particular piece. It's one that I think is really pretty and I think will also fit. And this is also how I like to make embellishments. Just making use of whatever's already there. And that way your project will look cohesive. That's what I did in that one book I showed you guys. I wasn't trying to compete with what was already there. Just going with the flow. So this here can look like that. Yes, my darling. I live in upstate New York. I was born in Puerto Rico. I've shared this before. I am a Latina. Or Hispana, however you want to look at that. And I reside in upstate New York with my youngest son and my lovely husband. And I've been here for, goodness, 20 some odd years, how many years has it been? It's the longest I've ever lived in one place, I can tell you that. I'm looking for, again, I cleaned up, guys, and I cannot find my items, so I apologize. Yeah, I'm trying to think, 20 years. I think I've been here for 20 years. But my father was in the military, and I grew up living here and there and everywhere. So, as I call it, a nomadic lifestyle of an army brat. Because that's what happens. Anyone who's grown up in the military will tell you the same thing. Okay, so I'm just shabbying this up a bit. Okay, and then I think I'm going to place it kind of askew. I think it's kind of big for this, unless I fold it. Let's fold it. I may be overthinking things this morning, but guess what? I'm going with it. California. Wow, that is one state I have never been to. But there are quite a few crafty ladies out that way. And Vicky's also in California. I don't know. Oh, hi, Manuela. Thank you so much, Manuela. And welcome to my channel. I don't think you've been here before either, so thank you so much for stopping by. If you have been here before, I do apologize if I forgot. Oh, wonderful, Rocky. Yes. So I lived in Texas for a hot minute. I don't recall when, sadly, but I know we were there. Texas, Kentucky. So I tell friends, I used to say y'all, yes ma'am. I still say y'all sometimes. Yes ma'am, yes sir. I used to have that twang, that little bit, but living in Puerto Rico for a few years got that out of me because the teasing was relentless. When you're Hispanic and you say y'all, people look at you funny, you know? They're like, what? Because that's, you know, a southern accent is not something you expect, right? But as I once told a young man that I met who said to me, you don't sound Puerto Rican. I said, what does a Puerto Rican sound like? Because we don't all have the same exact story. You know, they don't stamp us out at a factory or anything like that. Contrary to popular belief, right? But I was thinking, I like this, and I also like, and this is where I go a little crazy, guys. So, also like that circle there. So you guys, we have South California, sorry. And Hemet. Is that how you say it? Is it Hemet? I think that's how you say that, but please let me know if, you know, I don't think it's Hemet. I think it's Hemet, isn't it? Yes, Virginia, definitely, yeah. I had a very good childhood friend from I think it was West Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. And okay, so you have to picture this. I'm about 7, 8 years old, something like that. I'm living in Kentucky for the first time, and this is what happens when you're in the military, right? Your parents move because of work, and all of a sudden you're in an entirely different world because you've never been there before. So everyone that you meet is a little different, and I thank God for that type of upbringing, actually, because I was not aware, for instance, of certain differences until they were pointed out to me. I thought that it was absolutely normal to have neighbors that were all different physically. I thought that that was just, you know, the everyday life, and I loved it. I loved the fact that when my one little friend was white, the other one was black, the other one was Korean, the other one was Chinese. I love that about my childhood. But when I first got there, I recall going to this little girl's house. Her name was Heather. If you're out there, Heather, hello, hello. So I go to her house, and her mother is like West Virginia proud, right? And I'm talking beehive, long cigarette, Elvis fan, and I had never heard of Elvis Presley because I'm from Puerto Rico. My parents didn't listen to country music. I say that to my husband, and he goes, what? And I'm like, listen, I've never heard of a Puerto Rican singing, you know, Elvis songs. I know they're out there, but in my case, I had never heard of him. So I walk in the house, and she's listening to the music, and I don't even know how we got into the conversation, but I must have asked who it was. And she said, oh no, she had one of those velvet paintings in the house. I don't know if you guys know what that means. But here in the United States, some people have made art that also has like fabric. And I don't even know how that's done, but in any case, and I recall her saying, "That's the king, girl." Oh my gosh. So she was appalled that I didn't know who the king was. And in my head, I'm like, the king? Well, what king? Oh, I was so confused. Oh my gosh. And my childhood was riddled with stories like that. Complete confusion. Having to learn so many different things about different people. Colloquialisms. Manners of speech. All of that. And it just went back and forth because it all depended on where we were living. So here's a little stamp set that is absolutely adorable, and I don't think I've ever even used, well, I think I used it once, sadly. This is, and you're seeing a trend here. This is mini rubber stamps from Santoro, I don't know, whatever, Gorgeous Girls. And you see how adorable that is? So I picked one, it says, "You Brought Me Love," and I'm stamping that in the center. Oh, thank you, Joanna. Thank you, thank you. I'm just hoping that this doesn't get blotchy. Yeah, it got blotchy, just as I thought. Oh, this is my struggle, but here we go. You know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna stamp it over and over again until I get it right. You know what it is? It's the stamp what do you call that? Stamp pad. All right, do over, guys. I appreciate your patience as you wait. Yeah, so I learned who the king was. I learned what honky-tonk music was. I learned to eat things that in my home were never served. And the same exact thing happened with my friends. They would come to my house and they would learn to eat things they had never seen before. And they would learn what the manners were at our household. And they learned how, what was considered respectful in a Hispanic home versus, you know, a Korean home, that sort of thing. And that was my upbringing. And let me tell you, we kids all got along perfectly well. There was no drama. Every now and then, yes, but that's, you know, not unusual. Quantico. Yes. Thank you, Vicky. You know, I share that because I think it's so important. You know, here on the internet, we meet. It's the same dynamic, and I think that's part of what I like about it. You meet people from all over the world, and I think our expectations of each other should be the same of, you know, well, this is how she does things. This is, you know, this is her little niche, if you will. And we can all respect one another and be loving and kind to one another, regardless of the accent, regardless of, you know, those banal little differences. Because, you know, when I was a kid, it was so fun. It was like discovering something new every single time. And I loved watching people to kind of read them. I still do that. I rely more on body language when people are speaking to me than anything else. Which this whole mask situation is not helping me. Not at all. But okay, so I stamped her again because I botched her up. See her? She had an incident, so I stamped her again. And she's just going to go right on top, which I think is going to be just fine. So no one tell Elizabeth. So yeah. And I hope that that's in the environment that you guys find here, you know. And, you know, being Puerto Rican, and this is something I have to explain, okay? Being Puerto Rican, because I haven't ceased to be Puerto Rican just because, you know, I've lived all over the place or anything like that. we poke fun at everything. That's part of our culture. My husband could tell you so many stories. He'll say, "Oh yeah, you think you're so funny. Yeah, ha, ha, ha." Because we make fun of everything, everyone. We don't care. We don't care if you're sensitive. We're going to make fun of you. If we're getting to know you, we're going to poke fun at you. We're going to make jokes about you. You know, that's part of our culture. That's how we show love, is what I say. It's how we love you. You know we love you if we're poking fun at you. And not every culture is like that. And some of us have learned that the hard way. But, you know, you have to take us, I guess, with a grain of salt. We don't mean offense. All right, so this little girl is going to go here. And that's what I was thinking, that she could go right there. And that kind of gives it a central point, of course, to my overly done topper. And how long have I been here? Someone needs to tell me, like, wrangle me in. Okay, so it's noon. I don't remember when I started this live feed at all. But let me see here. I'm trying to make use of my supplies, guys, and I have things that I've cut out here and there. For instance, I'm seeing this kind of peek out at me, and this is just some little hearts, and I kind of want to add 1 or 2 here. Now, this is not perfectly cut or anything like that, but if you've seen my channel before, you know I save all these little pieces, and then this is exactly what I do. I just add them here and there to projects. Okay, so I think I'm gonna put that, maybe, I don't know, maybe that looks crazy. Yeah, no, I don't like it. Changed my mind. I also have this one in rose gold. And I wish it were smaller, though. Yep, not liking that either. All right, so I'm just kind of checking it out here, checking it out, trying to see what's good. I should have added that first. I'm trying to see what will make this stand out a tiny bit more. I think I got it, guys. Okay, here we go. Yes, I've probably been here over an hour, so I appreciate those of you who are still with me. I'm going to do something with this. Just like so. Okay. So I'm just going to go around the perimeter of this with some glue. Because this is a cute little ribbon and it's just sitting there. There we go. And I'll keep going. And this is just going to give it a tiny little trim there. Okay. Now I could go ahead and color that little girl, the image, but I don't think I'm going to bother with that because that's not the central focus of this project by any means. It's just a little, you know, a little something extra there. But you could definitely color it in. Okay, I think I like that. And I'm going to fold it back on itself right there so that I give myself sort of like a little seam. I don't know if you guys could see that, okay? So I just took the ribbon and I folded it back on itself. And I did that on purpose because now I'm going to cut away the excess and it won't unravel, okay? So that's just a little something that you would do if you're sewing or anything like that. In this case, I'm just applying glue. So, little trick of the trade there, guys. Yes, so Joanna, oh, okay. My husband's been to England. I hope to, you know, I would love to go overseas. I always say, you know, If I got on an airplane and went to Italy, I don't think I'd come back. I'm like, yeah, I think I can do that life. Learn Italian in a month, work, doing whatever, and just, I don't know. But, you know, we tend to romanticize that, which we don't know, right? Because I say things like that, and my husband will say, what are you talking about? Puerto Rico is paradise. But you don't know all of the nuances of a place until you live there, of course, you know. However, you know, Puerto Rico is paradise. I'm not going to contradict that in any way. I have some little jimmies here. But, yeah, my husband's been to England. He got to see his father. He went there to visit his father once, so that's kind of cool. I'll put these here. You know, I've kind of neglected the card and went all out with the topper, but I think I'm going to leave that there. That's the end of the topper. It got all of the treatment it needed. It looks kind of like a curtain, doesn't it? Oh, gosh. Oh, wonderful. Yes, Joanna, I do hope you have that opportunity. I hope that, you know, things can get back to normalcy so that, you know, we can travel a bit more freely. I was, as I mentioned before at the beginning of this video, I was not home. I was actually in Puerto Rico in January. And that's the reason I'm doing this so late, because I didn't realize I had missed the challenge put forth by Elizabeth. Now, on here, I'm thinking of putting a little something extra. So let me take a look at the paper collection. Because again, as I mentioned before, I'm trying to just work with what I have. And I have so many bits and pieces here, guys. But this is what was left over after making that book. And there's these little borders. They're so cute. I think I might use this for the sentiment. These little pieces here are just really darling. And let's see here. Trying to think of what else. What else? There's that. Okay, so there's all of these pieces here. So there's these. So you can imagine, I mean, I could have gone crazy with this card, but I was trying to keep it simple. And now what I want to be conscious of course, is the scale. How big is it and all that good stuff. Let's give this a try. I'm going to see how this works here. You can see my madness at work. Fussy cut the roses. Oh, I don't know why that hid. And that, to answer your question, that paper collection is called, sorry guys, Rose Cottage from Recollections, and it's not new. It just so happens that I had this and it matched the colors of the challenge. So I wanted to make use of the supplies that I have on hand instead of going out and buying yet another paper stack. Although that is, you know, as a crafter, that's our favorite hobby, right? Is getting more. But I wanted to use what I had. And this did come from Michaels. I don't know that Michaels would still be selling this paper collection. But if they don't have this one, I promise you they will have an even prettier one with quite likely the same exact colors. Because if you've been crafting long enough, you'll know that Michaels does that. They put out one collection every season with the same color palette. So this would be a good time to check, though, because of it being a spring colors flowers and all that. Y'all get what I'm saying. Okay, this isn't gonna be perfect, but who perfectly cuts paper? I don't know. I've not met that person yet. At least not in person. Let's see. Okay. This is hard to do on a live video also because I'm trying to pay attention to the timing of things. Because I get lost in my crafting, guys. I zone out. Then 4 hours later, I'm wondering why my back hurts and why I'm hungry. There we go. Okay, so I think I got this down. That's what I was trying to achieve, okay? To have a little panel to kind of put down here. Although I could put it on the inside, but I think it's too big for the inside. So it's a little wide. So what I'll do is that I will just cut away that little piece there. Okay, I'm trying to get rid of as much green as possible. Okay, going back to this edge here. There we go. I think this is gonna work, or I'm hoping it does anyway. All right, so there's that. And it's going to be a bit dimensional because I'll be able to pop it out, and then I can put the little flowers on here. I hope that makes sense. Oh, you're very welcome, Annette. And yes, pink and teal is a very common color combo, so for sure you can find it. All right, let's try this bit here. And the good thing about creating things in a bit of a shabby style also is that you don't need to be too perfect, because you can also go around it with your scissors or anything like that and shabby up the edges. But I really like that this gives you also a shadow in a different color, so that not all of the backgrounds are the same exact color. I think that's something that I really like about this paper pad, as far as the ephemera is concerned anyway. Because I normally would be doing that with a marker, and in this case I don't have to. So thank you, Recollections, for doing that. And oh goodness, I'm almost there. I just want to kind of do away with a little bit of that edge. So there's one piece, and you see where this is going, because I can overlap it just like that and create almost like a little garden, if you will. So let's go with this one in this corner. And if this is painful, I apologize. I just really want to get this project done. But yeah, it's kind of cool to see that a lot of you guys can relate to my little stories. I do appreciate that, because not everyone can. There's this. And now if I kind of go a little bit too close here and there, I don't worry too much about that either, because you can always overlap your images. So wherever you goof it up a bit, just, you know, overlap it with something else. Okay, so there's that one. So that can go on the posterior part there, or the back. And let's see, I like to work in threes, so let's do a smaller one here. It's not essential, but it's just, I don't know, habit, I guess, right? So I'm just going to go around here. I'm amazed you can fussy cut with large scissors. Oh, thank you. Oopsie, I don't know why your Rocky... Oh, okay. I thought I accidentally hid your comment. I don't know why my what do you call it? My YouTube is filtering out some of what you guys are saying today because no one has said anything inappropriate, so I don't get it. But I'm having to approve some of your comments, which is very odd. Okay, so let's add some glue here because this is taking too long. But it's going to create a little bit of dimension there, especially once I apply the glue. Oh, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Yeah, I love watching people craft too. To me, it's medicinal. It's like, you know, so soothing. Okay, so here we go. Kind of covering up her feet, but no one will miss them. Just gonna add a little bit of adhesive here on this end. And I'm pushing it in a little bit there, because that's going to create that lift. You see that? So that's what I was going for there. Okay, and then that way I can add my little flowers, and it's okay to hide some of them too. That's not a problem. Add a little adhesive down here. Pop one of these on. Add another one. Kind of trying to make sure the placement of the leaves is not as pronounced as the flowers. So adding a little adhesive back here. Okay, that way I get all those colors in there, and I apologize if I was out of frame. I don't think I was, but that's gonna be, let's see, do we want this one? This one can be, I wish it was baby's breath or something, like a lighter color, but I think I'm gonna have that one just poking out like so, because I don't want it on top. I'm finicky as all get out, guys, but here we go. Let's remove the cobwebs. All right, so that's gonna look like that. Oopsie. I have to recharge my glue gun there for a second. And on that, I'm also going to add a little sentiment. This one here. No, wait. I said I was going to use this one. I almost forgot, guys. But this one here has these little sentiments. So I can cut into that. And let's see. Oh, maybe it's too long. Yep. I just realized these sentiments are really, really long. So, oh boy, let's see. Let's just do... Oh, yeah, mamma mia. Let's just do believe. Let's do believe. She's gonna be like, well, believe in what? Believe in what, Raquel? Believe in the Lord. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is so crooked, but... Here we go. Oh, I cannot stand it. Okay. Thank God for the tool to shabby things up. I'm just gonna do this, guys. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Yeah, I do that too. You know, shaking my head, going, uh-huh, preach, girl. And then, oh yeah, she can't hear me. Of course, that's always, you know, the teasing game. All right, so I'm going to attempt to make this into a banner by cutting in the center and then making the little fish tails on one end. Let's see where that takes us, okay, like that. And as you can tell, because I made it crooked, I just, you know, shabbied up the edges like that. And I'm going to curl this a little bit also, like so. And my story will be, I did it on purpose. It's gonna fit, guys. Yay! I'm so excited. I did it on purpose. Yes, definitely. God bless you, Vicky. And enjoy those babies. Someday it'll be my turn, but not yet. Not yet. Okay, here we go. Woohoo! Alright, so our little Believe got in there. And I like it, guys. I've got a little fishtail banner there. And I was able to fussy cut the little flowers, make her a little garden, right? So she's standing in the garden. This tool, by the way, all it is a blade in there. So you can definitely do the same thing with a pair of scissors. This is just, you know, I just happen to have that. But by all means, you can just use the edge of your scissors. So she's going to stand like so. She needs some shine, though, of course. So, let's see. I've got my Nouveau drops. And what I'll do is that I will apply some of these. This is also what I did on the other card. So, I will just pick here and there because this is a very translucent pink. In fact, it's called Peach Sorbet. But it translates as pink, right? So I'm just going to go here and there. Add some droplets as if it's raining. And this is just to draw the eye right to that little corner. Some smaller than others. They don't all need to be the same size. To make her little earbuds stand out, I'm going to go ahead and add a little drop to each one. Like so. See how teeny tiny? That's what I love about these drops is you can go, you know, small or big, whatever. And then, because this is translucent, I'm not going to use it on the border because it'll be so light. So instead, I will use this one, which is more opaque. Oh, Annette. Where do you live? Do you live in the United States? I mean, it won't really matter where you live, but you can use my links. If you want to get some Nouveau drops, at the bottom of this video, you're going to see something that says Linktree. And you can pick up some Nouveau drops from Tonic, whether it be TonicStudios, US or UK, either one. They ship internationally or around the world. So you can definitely pick up some drops, try them out. This one, just to let you know, I just mentioned how translucent this one was. Let me show you guys, in case you're new to this. See how this says Jewel Drop? So the Jewel Drops are translucent. They're a little more clear. And then this one is called a Crystal Drop. So it's dries shiny, but it's more opaque. You see more of the color. Now, this is a very, very light color. It's this one's name is, what's your name? Duck Egg Blue. So you can see how pale it is, but it's going to dry with that blue color. And I can definitely add a little more here and there. I just like the subtlety of it, to be honest. Because they do have some really brilliant, very intense colors. For this particular project, I'm not going to use intense colors, though. I'm going to keep it very pastel, very light. Oh, hi, Carolyn. Hello, hello. But yeah, it just gives that little bit of shine that you can add to your projects here and there. This one is a Dream Drop. And this one's more almost like a holographic color. And it's called Enchanted Elixir. So this may have been a one-time only color. I couldn't tell you, to be completely honest. But this one's more pearlescent. So I'm going to try not to ruin what I just did, because I'm looking through the camera. And I'll try to swirl it about a little bit there to give it that round shape. But if it's not round, I'm not going to worry about it too much. But, you know, you can add them here and there. Just add a little bit of shine to your project to draw the eye. And you can also color or paint with them. So let me lay this down and get myself a brush. Okay, so just a nice fine tip brush like so. And I'm going to use a scrap piece of paper here, because this is going to finish off my card. I'm just going to give myself enough there. Don't need a whole lot. Thank you so much, Carolyn. This is for the challenge from Elizabeth. She's asking that we send her a banner to help her celebrate 10 years on YouTube. And I'm late to the party, but I'll get it to her. The deadline is March 15th for anyone else who wants to enter. So I'm just going along the edge here. Now I realize I could have done this first, but this is how I craft. I don't think about things too much. I just go with the flow. Just adding a little color here on the edge. This is going to be pearlescent, and if it gets on the background, I'm okay with that too. I'll just repeat it on all the sides, of course, to make it look cohesive. So it's just going to have a little bit of shine, and I just stuck my finger in it, of course. Of course I did. Of course I did. I'll revisit that though. I'm not going to panic or anything like that. I'll just revisit those little spots and add drops again, because again, this is almost impossible to do on a live video, but here I am. So I'm going to just paint with that. And in fact, what I can do is, and this is what I generally do, if I mess something up to that point where you see my drop that totally killed it, I'll just go ahead and remove it like that, or paint with it. I don't even care. Just paint with it. And then I'll repeat the same thing on the other edge. Paint with it. Okay, because it's just going to lend a little bit of shine. And then I'll revisit that and add another few drops on each corner. So that's why I'm not panicking or anything like that. It's not worth it. Yes, the Nuvo drops, you can water them down if you want to. You know, this is just a gel medium with pigment in it, really. That's all it is. So you use them any way you like. But I do like using the pearlescent ones here and there. Now they dry extremely quickly, so that's something to bear in mind. Is that it's not very forgiving in the sense that, you know, you have to get it on there. But I don't know if you can see that. It adds just a bit of shine. See that? Just a bit of shine there. Now, because this is a shabby type of project, the fact that the shine is here and there doesn't bother me whatsoever, because again, I can go over this now and add a drop here and there. And so long as I repeat the same pattern on one side as I do on the other, it will look cohesive in the end. Okay, so now I'm going to go back with this, fix my little spots there, if you will, whatever I messed up. Okay, so I'm going to go here. I think I had one here. And I believe I had them in blue, not in this color, but that's okay. I can still add the blue next to it. Let's go back to this one. And you could do this on every single square, whatever, however much you want to add. So I'm just going to go to each side here now. And I hope you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay. So that just frames it out a little bit. Now, this time around, I don't want to mess it up, so I'm going to let it dry. But you guys get the gist of it. Let me see if I can... All right, so you see that? You can paint with it. I could go into the scarf with it and add a little shine here and there. However you want to do it. The little hearts. And I'll show you the finished result, if you will, when you use Nuvo drops like that. Oh, you got the Empress. Wonderful, Carolyn. You're going to love it. You are going to love it. I have to say, of all the electronic machines that I have, I mean, I have the Cameo and I have the Cricut. I really love my Cameo because I don't think I can say a negative thing about that machine. But when it comes to die cutting, the Empress, oh goodness, I'm loving it. So here's what I did there. You see how I filled in the little dress? That was done with Nuvo. And sometimes I do it in the hair. This time I didn't, but the little bow, it has Nuvo drops. All of this is covered in Nuvo drops. I did color it with alcohol markers to begin with, but then I went over it with Nuvo drops to make it shiny. So those are different ways that you can use that. Otherwise this would have just all been cream, like a nude color. But yeah, I think that I am done today. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. Oh yes, you got the bundle. Mine came with one die, one, what was it? One die, one embossing folder, which I absolutely love. In fact, it's, let me see if it's right here. It's one of the prettiest, what could I say? It embosses very deeply, I guess is what I wanted to mention. So when you guys saw me cut this piece of paper, which again, I don't want to ruin it, but you guys saw me cut this piece of paper with all that intricate detail. I thought that my die had not cut through it. What happened was that I had already bits of paper in the die, but it cut that like butter. I didn't have to struggle with it. I love that. I love that machine for, you know, it's a real true workhorse, you know. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna leave you guys here. If you have any questions for me, as I always say, feel free to reach out to me. My email, however, is now Raquel@PaintsandGlitter.com. So you may notice a little difference in that going forward. There are going to be a couple of little changes here and there to my channel. God willing, they will be sooner rather than later. But as you know, I've mentioned in the past, I have to take my health into account when I make decisions. So I'm not on any timelines anymore. I just do what I can. Thank you so much. You guys have been wonderful. If this has been a fun video for you, I would accept the generosity of a thumbs up. There are 9 people here, so hopefully all 9 of you have enjoyed what you have seen. The paper, sweetie, is, let me see here. You guys are gonna hate me for using an old paper collection. This is the Rose Cottage from Recollections. I don't recall what year this is from. It is an older collection, but I showed the mini album that I made with this. So maybe I'll link that below also in case you guys rewatch this, but it's got all those cute colors that we all love, the teals, the pinks, gold, you know. It's a really beautiful paper collection, and I've thoroughly enjoyed working with it, and I still have so much left. And I showed you guys that mini album. So much of this paper left, and it's got those rose patterns that we like, you know, the smaller pattern. It's got larger patterns. It's got script. I mean, you name it. Very pretty paper. How often do I go live? Rocky, I try to, when I'm feeling well, I try to do a live video once a week. But like I mentioned, I'm not really on a timeline any longer. Because of my health. Now I just, oh, thank you so much. I just go on live when I'm feeling well. And ironically, sometimes when I feel really bad, I go online. And if I'm in a lot of pain, I'll do it just to get myself out of that headspace. Because I suffered an injury, and since that injury, which now is coming up on, many months, I'm in pain every day. So this has been, you know, something to get used to, and it challenges me. That's why I fumble sometimes with my words, and it takes me a little bit of time to get going. However, I love doing the live videos because I get to meet a lot of new friends, and it's the camaraderie of crafters that happens on this channel is really wonderful. So I do encourage you guys to visit each other's channels, not necessarily just mine, but if you hit the notification bell, then it will let you know when my live videos are up, because I am very impromptu when I craft, and I'm really bad at notifying or announcing them. A date on the back. Oh, by the barcode. Thank you. Let me take a look. See, you guys are awesome. Okay, let's take a look at it. 2018. This is vintage, y'all. Thank you for telling me that, though. I never look. So yeah. Do you guys want to see the mini album again? Anyone care to look at it? For those of you who just got here. Oh, here's another card. I was going to share this earlier. Isn't that so sweet? Thank you, Rocky. Thank you so much. I'm going to set this aside so I don't kill it, because I can see myself just smushing that all over the place. Thank God for a big room. But yeah, Carolyn, if you've seen this video, that's the paper I use to make this book right here. All right, so Rocky says yes. All right, so let's do the walkthrough. It says Life is Beautiful in French on the cover. That's from the paper collection. I used all these yummy laces from Rene Bouquets. That's the back. This is from Rene Bouquets. All the flowers are as well. Oh, Sandra, I didn't realize that. Okay. So, yes, this was, gosh, I'm trying to think now of, see, I don't even remember when I did this video, but it was in 2020 because it was for Rene Bouquets. So I just try to use all of the papers here to showcase, of course, the beautiful laces. And this paper came, and here was my favorite part of it, was this lacy detail. See that? I love that. And so I was showing the pieces. There's the Eiffel Tower. That's from Rene Bouquets. This beautiful, gorgeous vintage girl. Look at her. She's from Rene Bouquets. So, so are the laces. And here's my Anna Griffin. In fact, Carolyn, you'll be able to get this from Anna if it's still available. Yep. So that's an Anna Griffin die right there. And look at how beautiful that was with the Empress. Oh, okay. So you're just learning? No problem. Well, if you're here and you watch this video, then you can definitely still click the notification bell of the channel, and you'll get to see videos like these. You know, you'll get to see the projects that I put out with different collections and that sort of thing. But by all means, if you ever need to reach out to me, I'm available. I can take the time to respond. That's no big deal for me. $60. Wait, Carolyn, are you talking about that particular die for $60? The one I just showed you? Here's another page there. So this down here is washi tape, just so you know. That did not come, or no, is it? No, it's not. I'm sorry. I correct myself. That's not washi tape. Never mind me. But this paper lent itself to such, you know, romantic layouts, really. And then here I just made a little insert there, leaving it white, but... And then there was that heart again, the shaker at the end of it. So, there it is. Put a bunch of little pink sequins, and the micro beads are from Renee Bouquets. So, oh, I see. Okay, so she must have bundled it up. But yeah, so there's that. There's the banner. The card's over there. I'm not going to ruin it. This has been a lot of fun, ladies, and I thank you so much for being here with me. I hope to come back very soon, God willing. Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Carolyn. Yeah, the greens and the pinks is just so pretty together. And you know I like my bling. So, but yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I hope to see you very soon. And as I always say, be inspired and be blessed. And I thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.